Upset that he was bleeding all over her sheets, she allegedly demanded he get into her bathtub while she ordered food from the DoorDash delivery app. Wow. So this chick kidnaps this dude. She ties him up. She cuts him, does all this crazy stuff. He's bleeding all over the place. She gets upset. She's like, I need a burger. Get in the bathtub. I'm going to DoorDash something. My first fully interactive ebook drops this Friday, and it's only $13. Go to howtorelationship.net to get on the waiting list now. Link in description. If you scream, I'll kill you. Colorado woman charged with kidnapping after allegedly holding Tinder date captive. Lauren Dooley, 22, allegedly bound the wrists and ankles with duct tape and forced him into her bed at knife point. Authorities arrested a woman accused of binding her Tinder date's limbs with duct tape and holding him captive at knife point at her Colorado apartment. According to probable cause documents obtained by KXRM-TV, 22-year-old Lauren Dooley faces second-degree charges of kidnapping and assault in addition to menacing and false imprisonment. On September 28th, the victim, identified as a 21-year-old male in the redacted documents, agreed to meet Dooley at her Colorado Springs apartment after the pair connected on Tinder. Upon the victim's arrival, Dooley allegedly performed sex acts on him before binding his wrists and ankles with duct tape, according to these documents. That's a little bit weird. I don't know how... He's a man, she's a woman. I don't know how she was able to overpower him. Even if she had if a woman is trying to force me to do something at knife point, I would neutralize that threat rather quickly and easily. So I'm not really sure. I think there's got to be something that we don't know. Anyway, the victim found it odd, but consented to it. Okay, there we go. He consented to it. That's what it is. He allowed her. Yep, Frank Bula called it. He allowed her to bind him. That's how. Okay, very good. The victim found it odd, but consented to it. That was your first mistake. However, when Lauren produced a kitchen knife and demanded he get into her bedroom, the victim no longer consented to staying at the residence, the document read. There is the lovely Ms. Dooley. She's not bad looking. But you can see she's clearly crazy. Clearly crazy. Fearing for his life, the victim told authorities he agreed to get into Lauren's bed, where she allegedly proceeded to climb on top of him, cut his arm, and choked him with a belt. Wow. Upset that he was bleeding all over her sheets, she allegedly demanded he get into her bathtub while she ordered food from the DoorDash delivery app. Wow. Holy smokes. So this chick kidnaps this dude. She ties him up. She cuts him, does all this crazy stuff. He's bleeding all over the place. She gets upset. She's like, I need a burger. Get in the bathtub. I'm going to DoorDash something. Wow. If you scream or say anything, I will 187 you, Lauren allegedly told the victim as the delivery person arrived, per the documents. After she fell asleep, the victim told the officers he was able to free himself of the duct tape with the kitchen knife she used to attack him and escape the apartment parking lot, where he called for help. Citing an open line 911 call, authorities said the dispatcher could hear the victim say he was bleeding all over the bed and telling another person, "You're going to kill me." When authorities arrived, they discovered blood-soaked rags, a kitchen knife, and a bloody bathtub during a search of the apartment. Dooley was taken into custody by Colorado Springs police. She is scheduled to appear in court on Thursday. It is unclear if Dooley entered a plea to the charges or retained an attorney who can speak on her behalf. I think somebody already said this in the chat, but I don't think she's going to get any time for this. I really don't. I really don't. Today's modern women, they are routinely allowed to commit egregious crimes and heinous acts, including kidnapping and stabbing, holding someone against their will, holding someone captive against their will, and being able to escape. The best example I can think of right off the top of my head is the Courtney Taylor situation. Courtney Taylor 187'd her boyfriend. She 187'd her boyfriend. She then calls the cops. The cops show up. There's the deceased body. There's blood all over her. She admits to having 187'd him, and they did not arrest her. Matter of fact, 5 months after the alleged 187ing, they extradited her back to Miami from Hawaii. This woman allegedly committed second-degree 187, but was able to travel around the country and ended up in Hawaii. Once again, let's switch the genders. Can you imagine had the roles been reversed? Now, I'll tell you this. If he had 187 her, he'd be done. They'd have given him the chair. No trial. A black man and a white woman? Oh, no. They said, no, They said OJ's the only one getting away with that. No, sir. But because it was a woman, an attractive white woman at that, she was able to just, waltz off and travel around the country and da-da-da-da-da-da. Roosh V was on a flight, and I forget where he was flying from or flying to, but he's banned in Europe. They turned a plane around because they found out he was on the plane. Roosh didn't 187 anybody. He didn't harm anybody. Yet this woman is able to 187 a man in her apartment. There's also video of her assaulting him in an elevator. Clearly, this woman has violent proclivities. She continued to escalate it, and it escalated to 187. But instead of taking her into custody, instead of arresting her, which is what they should have done, they said, nah, go ahead, we'll figure all this out. We'll get this going. Unbelievable. Only in America. My question is this. Do women get away with these kinds of crimes overseas? And I'm not talking about Australia, England, I'm not talking about Australia, England, or Canada, or, the hotbeds of the girl power movement. No, I'm talking about just, Brazil, Japan, Ukraine, Russia, Argentina, anywhere else but the West. Do women in the East, can they 187 someone and just be sent along their merry way, go on a vacation or two, and then get extradited when it's convenient for the authorities? I can't imagine that this is what's going on overseas. I can't imagine that. Which is probably why women in other countries are much better behaved than American women. Derek the Trader says not in the Middle East. Oh, I know. I know they're not doing that in the Middle East. For sure. Phantom 313 says you cannot make this ish up. Welcome to Clown World. This is a failure of the American justice system, gentlemen. This is a failure of the American justice system. There's no way she gets away with this. No way. And I'm talking about Lauren Dooley and tying up the Tinder date. There's no way she gets away with this. Common sense tells you that if you kidnap a man, hold him against his will, have relations with him non-consensually, cut him, strangle, choke him with a belt, and order DoorDash while he bleeds out in the bathtub, there's no way she gets away with that. But women like Courtney Taylor, the Soho Karen, they are routinely given a pass for even more egregious crimes. We just talked about Courtney Taylor. She 187'd her boyfriend. She was able to take a vacation in Hawaii before they picked her up 5 months later. What this does is this tells women, specifically American women, that they can just do anything they want to men and really not have to worry about it. This woman was so bold and so brazen with what she did. This chick actually ordered DoorDash. This woman had a man that she had kidnapped, bound, and tortured in a bathtub, bleeding out, and she had the balls to call DoorDash. That's how brazen she was. In her mind, she's thinking, dude, there's no way I'm going to get caught. There's no way I'm going to get caught. See, when criminals commit crimes like this, they do their level best to keep any witnesses from seeing anything. Because the more people are aware of what you're doing, the more likely it is that you are going to get caught. Nope. Not this woman. Not in America. Again, man bleeding, cut, choked, stabbed in bathtub. She decides to call DoorDash. She was so sure she was going to get away with this, she actually ordered DoorDash. Only in America